Hey there, folks. This is Andre the Game Idea Guy, and I'm writing two books right now. Both of them, the first chapter is complete. One of them, I think about 3/4 of the way through the second chapter. I'm trying to get these things done. I have the inspiration to start writing my stories. I want to get them out the way and get them published. So, quick explanation, quick rundown on what I'm trying to do. First story is a rewrite of an old story I wrote a long time ago. I came up with the concept when I was a teenager. I think I wrote most of it out in my early 20s. I actually wrote the story in my early 20s and finished it. But when I look back over it now, that version of the story is garbage in comparison to what I'm going to be doing now. So the story type is, I guess the best would be described as like a combat or a Shonen, if you're familiar with that, or if you're familiar with fighting games, something like Street Fighter, Tekken, King of Fighters, where characters evolve, get stronger, better along the way. Very much along those lines. If you're interested in that type of story, but one that has a definitive story, then that's what this is. That's what I'm doing. I don't mind people seeing the older version. It's up online anyway, so I may link it if people are interested in reading the old version. I'm just going to tell you it's full of a lot of errors. Stuff I didn't pick up on immediately is full of a lot of errors. And some of the writing is bad. If you want to read the older version. Just to get an idea of what I'm going to be doing with the rewrite. That's totally fine. I'm looking back over at the old version like, this is what you did? But yeah, I'm trying to get that done. Second story is more of a dark fantasy. Like, I wouldn't say it's a medieval period. Somewhere between the lines of, like, you'd say Fire Emblem, Lord of the Rings, Legend of Zelda. If you've played it, Unicorn Overlord. Somewhere in that general realm of story. So you'd have that type of storytelling. That story is new. That is a brand new story to me. It's not something I've already written before. But it's been a type of story I've wanted to write for a long time, and I can't keep waiting around to see if I can collaborate with a bunch of people to do the writing. I just need to do the writing. That's the story that I just finished the first chapter of the story. And that one I'm not sure how long it's going to be. The story I'm rewriting, I know how long it's going to be. I just don't know how many pages it's going to end up being. But I already know my general layout, how many chapters and stuff that one's going to have because I'm rewriting. This other one, I don't know how big the book is actually going to end up being. So it could take me a full year to complete just the draft of the story, depending on how long it takes me to write it. The other one, it's not going to take me as long because, again, I already have a baseline to work from. I just have to figure out how I want to rearrange certain things and how I want them to look, which I can do. I'm doing that now. One thing about my storytelling, I like to do my stories in layers. So you may see something early on in the story that's not going to have a payoff until way later. And that goes doubly for the Shonen / combat story that I'm working on, because there are multiple parts to the story. This first one is going to be about 10 chapters. I'm already 2 chapters in on the rewrite. But there are also other stories I had already planned after the first one and the second one that I kind of partially started writing years ago. So that's the plan, is to build up a big story along the way through multiple different portions and different events, which create the story. The dark fantasy, I don't know if I'm going to do it the same way, just because this is a brand new story. And the best way to put it in perspective, I do layer my storytelling and I do plan some things out, but much like in Akira Toriyama, I am a discovery writer. I like to let the characters become who they are along the way. I don't plan them completely out. I have a general concept for them, and then I work on that concept and evolve the characters as the story changes. So if you're interested in that type of storytelling, that type of writing, and want to be in on the process of giving feedback and maybe ideas for something like that, I'm open to that, because that's what I'm looking for. I would eventually love for these stories to, if I could get together with an artist, I would love for these stories to become either comic or manga series. I'd be happy to work with somebody to have that created. Because even if I do break the second story down into multiple different stories, each story or section to itself could have multiple comics. And that could be, again, that could be interesting to do. But right now, I'm just looking to see if I could get anywhere between 3 to 5 people that would be interested in reading and proofreading the stories. Because obviously when I'm typing it, I'm looking at it, I'm going to look at it the way I'm thinking I wrote it in my head. So there may be things that I just completely miss as far as the writing and the grammar of the story. So it would always be a good idea to have at least one other set of eyes on the story to look it over and be like, oh yeah, hold up, you made a mistake there. That would be very helpful. So this is open to anyone. If you're interested, what I'm probably going to do is make 2 channels on my Discord, one for each story. And if anybody's interested that isn't in my Discord, you can just join the Discord. Let me know what you're there for. If we've already had a discussion, like if you're on YouTube and you hear this, just leave a comment or something down and we can kind of discuss it there and see if that's what would work out. I'm not requesting someone give up all their time to do something like this. If you have a little bit of free time to spare and you're interested, cool. If you don't have time to spare, I am not asking for you to try to give up your time to help me with this, because that would just be selfish. So while I'm working on these 2 stories, that's why I figured I'd put this out, see if anybody's interested in helping. So the main title for the shonen battle type story is going to be Bloodstorm. That's going to be the main name of the overall story. The other one is a working title. I have not settled on it being the title, but currently I have The Warrior of Omen is the name of the title. Again, working title, I'll probably change it. It's just what I'm using right now so that I have things organized when I'm writing. But again, if anybody's interested, please let me know. I'm putting this out there to see if anyone's willing to help. If not, I'm still going to work on the stories either way. But I would appreciate it if somebody's willing to just spare a little bit of time, if they have it, again, to do something like this. If you don't, no big deal, no worries. I'll work. One way or the other, I'm going to finish these stories. One way or the other, they're going to be finished. Whether I gotta hunker down and bull rush through it on my own, or if I have people that can give me feedback. So, again, I'm going to stop here, because at that point I'm just repeating myself multiple times over. So thank you for anyone that listened, that got to this point. I appreciate that you even spent the time to even listen in. Keep your eyes and ears up for more stuff from me, and until the next time, enjoy your games and peace out, everybody.